Hello everybody and welcome to The Tube. We've got an exclusive, super interesting special for you with McCann Israel's CEO Richie Hunter about a campaign against ISIS joined and promoted by the advertising giant. But first, some tech news. Former U.S. intelligence analyst Edward Snowden has accused the U.S. National Security Agency of routinely passing private, unedited communications of Americans to Israel, an expert on the intelligence agency said Wednesday. James Bamford, writing in the New York Times, said Snowden told him the intercepts include communications of Arabs and Palestinian Americans whose relatives in Israel and the Palestinian territories could become targets based on the information. Snowden said the material was routinely transferred to Unit A200, a secretive unit in the IDF. Apple has released its new operating system for mobiles, the iOS 8. With the new operating system came a new approach to privacy, as Apple CEO Tim Cook provided details of how the company handles users' personal information and reassured customers about Apple's commitment towards their privacy in a letter published on its website. Cook has given a number of interviews yesterday focusing on the importance of being nice. Isn't that nice? Amazon announced 6 new tablets and e-readers on Wednesday. The tech giant said it is introducing 2 new e-readers, 2 new updates to the Kindle Fire tablet line, a kid-focused version of the Kindle Fire, and a new tablet for power users. All new products can be pre-ordered now and will be shipped in October. Let's hope they do a bit better than the recently launched Amazon Fire phone. Good luck. Peter Thiel thinks Twitter should stop smoking weed. Yes, you heard it right. In a CNBC interview today, the famous Facebook investor bashed its competitor, saying Twitter is hard to evaluate, they have a lot of potential, but it's horribly mismanaged. As a company, probably a lot of pot smoking going on there. Twitter officials said they'll react once they finish their Doritos. And now for the central part of our show. The world is reeling from the onslaught of the so-called Islamic State in the Middle East. The sheer violence of ISIS and their affiliated terrorists has both horrified and fascinated Western media, which became a major front in the battle against the extreme group. So far, ISIS seems to be winning this battle. But a new initiative by concerned citizens, joined by McCann Israel, the country's biggest ad agency, is trying to turn the new media tide. Stage 1 is simple. Just visit stopisis.mdigital.coil and switch your Facebook profile pic to this image now on screen, making a stand against ISIS violence. With us in the studio to talk some anti-ISIS wisdom into our heads is McCann Israel's CEO, Richie Hunter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, Mr. Hunter, why would McCann get involved in such a campaign?
Well, I think, first of all, everyone needs to get involved in such campaigns. Obviously, we're shocked, like with the rest of Israel and the world, at what ISIS is doing. A group of individuals approached McCann about 10 days ago and said, have we got an idea of how we can promote stopping the violence? One of our creative teams came up with, I think, a very simple idea, which is to change your Facebook picture, to actually chop off your head, but not your real head, just as you saw on the screen. A picture, replace it, and then share it with as many people as possible, with the idea of telling everyone this could happen to you, help us stop the violence.
What do you hope to achieve with this campaign?
Well, I think the first thing is to create a discussion and raise awareness. What's actually impressive is it's taking off across Europe. 75% of the people that have visited the website are from the UK. Thousands and thousands of people talking about it. Thousands of people swapping their pictures, and I think it's just raising awareness. So I think first thing is raise awareness. The second thing is we hope to reach 100,000 people that will replace their pictures, and maybe get governments and famous politicians around the world to do the same thing, to promote a discussion around what can we do to stop ISIS.
When people see the image itself, what sort of an emotional reaction do they expect them to have?
I think the idea was not to shock people. So one of the options was to keep the original picture and chop that head off. We decided not to do that. What we actually did is we took the icon that Facebook uses for people. We changed the head with that icon. So the idea is for people to see, you can notice it, but it's not shocking. But it is.
It's still harsh.
It's harsh. Look, all advertising has to be slightly harsh. You need to notice it so that you'll respond to it, and this definitely has people noticing it.
It sure has. McCann is an advertising powerhouse. Have you considered taking this campaign to the next level with a viral video production or other forms of counter-branding?
Again, so a group of people asked us to come up with an idea. I think the idea was unique. It has 3 stages. Stage 1 we launched actually on the 9th of September 11th, sorry, last week. Which coincided with the date that Obama created a coalition to fight ISIS. That's when we released the app. At the end of this week, we actually started spreading it around Europe. And next week, a number of countries in the UK, in Germany, in the US, a number of organizations there that are for peace are actually going to start promoting it in the local markets. So that's the 3rd stage next week.
So you basically want as many people around the world with this picture being part of this conversation.
Exactly, and that's why we're here today, by the way, is to try and get some of the people that watch the show to participate and help.
Yeah, well, as again, the website is right here all the time. Stop ISIS. And now, before we go any further, I'd like to show our viewers and you a video released by ISIS on Tuesday in the format of a movie trailer. Let's watch it together. Yes, many news outlets and the media claim this video is very Hollywood in its quality and in its style. Do you agree? Do you think, or is it something the media is just inventing to, I don't know, to get ISIS to look bigger and fancier or whatever?
I think if there was an Oscar for the worst video I've seen this year, that would have got the Oscar. I think there's actually nothing in it. I don't think the Hollywood production is of any quality at all. It looks like it was done by someone in a home studio. I think obviously the message is shocking, and that's why people are talking about it. The quality of the film, in my view, is very poor. And as a professional, it's a bit of a
What about
joke.
the Western ideas in its narrative?
So again, I think that's what's shocking, what's scary about ISIS. They're taking everything that democracies around the world have been built on, and they're destroying it. They are medieval, and I think in their behavior they're becoming medieval, and that's what's scary. That's what's getting discussions. I think it's less the quality of the video, which in my view is
Which even more gets me to think about the branding. Because if you say the video is not good, but still everybody's talking about ISIS branding, do you think it is so good or effective to their causes?
First of all, it definitely, you can't argue the fact that everyone's heard of ISIS and everyone's talking about ISIS. I think it starts with the fact that it's shocking. I mean, their behavior is shocking. What's happening in some of the countries is shocking. The poor people that live in the countries that ISIS are battling are threatened. And I think that creates this underlying fear in all of us, which is why everyone's everyone's discussing it. Again, I think they're using the media very well, social media very well. They release the videos on YouTube and through Facebook, which is creating a lot of problems, I think, for Western countries.
But the media, not only the social media, is actually falling into ISIS trap. How can you explain that?
Let's start with how I think we should stop it.
Okay.
I think that as many TV... First of all, I think there should be a boycott on any of their propaganda. I think that they want people in the UK and France, in America, to see their videos, and I think if they don't see the videos, they lose most of their impact. So I think that's number one. I think number two, there should be a discussion in both Facebook and YouTube about maybe delisting and not letting these videos air on the net. If we did all of that together with Twitter, we could actually stop what they're trying to create, which is this huge wave of fear, which is actually spreading across the world.
I'm assuming that when you said that you want to cooperate with the campaign, you had a vision of that actually happening.
Again, I think each one, like I20, like your channel is doing, I think like lots of other channels, the channel first of all has to take a stance, and which is we're not going to promote their propaganda. I think what we're trying to do is help. Now, we don't work for CNN, we don't work for other channels, but I think if all of them followed you guys, there's actually a chance of stopping their feardom or their fear spreading across Europe.
You know, advertising companies are not well known by their ideals. Do you think that that in this initiative, a counter-branding is possible?
I actually don't think we can counter-brand. I don't think countries should counter-brand. I think the Western world is built on democracy, and that's the big idea. In every advertising campaign, you need a big idea. That is the big idea. And I think what we've got to do is carry on doing what we believe in. Countries have to carry on doing what they believe in. And I think the media's job is to make sure they tell the citizens of the world the truth, don't scare them too much, and don't play to the hands of ISIS.
I don't know, but there's so much creative power in the Western world. How come there's no proper counter-propaganda against ISIS?
Look, first of all, I think the idea that the office came up with for a client was trying to touch on that. But I tell you, the thing is that when you answer them too directly, you're kind of playing into their hands. Because they want the world to be scared. They want the world to discuss them. So I think, again, I'm not sure what the balance is. If it gets worse and carries on, maybe countries will start creating campaigns against it. But I actually believe the best campaign against it is to carry on living our lives properly. And
is that a dilemma you had when the citizens came with the idea for the campaign? Are we playing into their hands?
Look, I think the people that approached us asked us if we could help them think of an idea. So we came up with an idea. I don't think we're playing into their hands. As I said, it's kind of low-key. People spread it if they like it. If they don't share it. And the idea is to create this grassroots discussion, nothing over the top. We didn't think of creating videos because we don't want to scare anyone. And as I said, the idea is to actually get a discussion on the topic and less. They use a lot of propaganda, a lot of video tricks. We don't want to do that at all. The idea was to be direct and get people to think of what this could mean for them.
In my opinion, the approach would be to, if it looks impressive and scary and all that, deconstruct that and show people the behind the scenes of their psychology, of what they're doing, as something that can be effective.
First of all, that's a good idea. If someone else approaches us and asks us to help, we're an agency, we'll try and help them. But that seems like an interesting idea to think about.
Okay, well, thank you very much to begin with for the campaign.
Thank you for having us.
It's not. We're going to put the address again. So
can I just say one last thing?
Yes,
next week we're starting the European. Our client is expanding into Europe next week, and the idea is to get as many of your viewers to join in and share.
So come on, viewers, show us you're viewing us, and log on to the website and change your profile picture. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, let's move on in a different topic. We love humans of New York, but what about all those who did not get the chance to star in the famous blog that takes pictures of interesting people around New York? Well, now there's an imposter walking around New York City taking pictures of all of you uninteresting people. Beware.
Hi, excuse me, miss. Sorry to bother you. I'm taking photos for my blog.
Okay.
And I put pictures of humans of New York all over the place.
Wait, you're Humans of New York?
I'm from Humans of New York. I was wondering, you guys have a really interesting look.
Oh my God,
And, you guys have heard of it? I feel like nobody knows what it is. Hi there, from Humans of New York. I was just wondering, hi there, from Humans of New York? From Humans of New York?
I thought he was traveling, though.
We sent interns. They said it was too dangerous.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, we have some green screen stuff, too, so it looks like I'm out there. I'd love to bump that story up a little bit. Like, what if we amped it up? So I'm thinking maybe you guys are homeless. You live in Washington Square Park. Maybe you bathe in the fountain here. Tell me about when you were homeless.
When I was homeless?
Yeah.
Just make the stories up.
No, I mean, and we can make something up, too. I mean, we're trying to get a lot of likes, too.
No,
so, like,
of course. That's what it's there for.
I do get some of the images from Google Image. We have a long, kind of a long wait, so...
That's great. I'm really flattered.
Yeah,
Thank
like,
you.
hopefully by 2020, we should have these up.
Oh, people like attention. And now, what can be better than the new Mad Max trailer? Maybe the same trailer, homemade, because everything is better when it's homemade. It's like cookies.
My name is Max. My world is fire and blood. Ka-doom.
Yes, it's frame by frame, the trailer of the movie. That's very impressive, guys. Good job. And that's it. This show is over. Thanks for watching. Log on to our Twitter and our Tumblr. It's TheTube24. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much, Mr. Richie Hunter, for being our guest this evening. We'll be back on Monday, but we have the Tube Weekend Best of Edition throughout the weekend, so join us also there. It's going to be fun and interesting. And always remember, money often costs too much. Goodbye.